Hey YouTube, Motor Racing Network, Steve Post here, another Diecast review show, and as you can tell by looking at the table in front of us, we have got a ton of new Diecast in, and we've got really big news going into this weekend in New Hampshire. We, PlanBSales.com, are sponsoring Justin Allgaier, the number 51 car, and look at this. We have got Justin Allgaier t-shirts in stock and ready. Order them now. Wear them this weekend. That's how cool we've got this thing. We've got all sizes available. So Justin Allgaier, Plan B Sales, t-shirts available now. Diecast also available on a pre-order basis. And we're really excited about sponsoring Justin Allgaier this weekend up at the Magic Mile at New Hampshire. All right, let's get in to the Diecast we have because we have a huge collection of cars from Lionel. Wrapping up last year's race-winning Diecast, here we have the Martinsville winning car that Jeff Gordon wheeled to victory last year. The AARP Drive Down Under car, confetti on the hood. This is what it looked like when Jeff Gordon rolled into victory. How about Jamie McMurray? Remember, he had the Auburn colors with Cessna sponsorship when he parked it in the circle at Talladega Superspeedway. So we have Jamie McMurray's Talladega win car from last year. The good news is we've had Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s win car in from the Daytona 500 this year, and here they come. Other race-winning cars. Kevin Harvick won the second race of the season. He was freaky fast in his Jimmy Johnson Chevrolet. Confetti everywhere. Remember that win for Harvick? And you can do that and commemorate that by this race-winning Diecast from Phoenix earlier this season. Speaking of Kevin Harvick, here is the Hunt Brothers paint scheme in the traditional finish and in the color chrome finish for Kevin Harvick. So awful good-looking race car there as well. And then the Budweiser Salutes color chrome car in for Kevin Harvick as well. So a good collection of brand new Kevin Harvick stuff in for all you Kevin Harvick fans. Danica Patrick. This is the car they're calling the peaker car with the little eyes coming up over the hood of the car. This is the standard finish in it, and we have the color chrome finish for all you Danica Patrick fans in the peaker finish. Now, look at the Jimmy Johnson collection we have, and we have a little bit of everything on it. This is the Spring is Calling car. This was the one they ran earlier this year, traditional finish with the lows and the color chrome finish for Jimmy Johnson in the Spring is Calling car. This is the Valspar paint car. Another one of the great partnerships they have with Lowe's, and Jimmy Johnson with the Valspar paint scheme on the white car. Valspar listed right there on the back of the car. So we have the Jimmy Johnson car and the military tribute car again, the one that they traditionally run around the Memorial Day weekend. This is the Cobalt Tools Jimmy Johnson Salutes car that we have with the red, white, and blue color scheme as well. So a good collection as well of Jimmy Johnson's cars. Now, Kyle Larson, one of the great young racers on the tour, this is what they call their night car because the color scheme is backward. Traditionally, this is red with white trim, but at night, under the lights, it's white with red trim. So we have got this one and the autographed one. Now, the neat thing about this autographed car and a couple other ones are this is only available autographed exclusively through PlanBSales.com or through our dealer network. So if you're looking for this car autographed, go to your dealer. If they're not part of Plan B Sales, tell them to dial us up and we can get them on the program so that you can get this exclusive Plan B Sale autograph car from Kyle Larson. Another one of our exclusive drivers that we do a lot with here is David Ragan. The color chrome, the Brakes for Trains car that David Ragan has, and autographed again. This autographed diecast exclusive to our dealers across the network and at PlanBSales.com. Brian Vickers, another one of the great drivers in NASCAR. Remember when they saluted the Florida State Seminoles earlier this year with their national championship? Aaron's does this frequently, and for Florida State, for all of you Seminole fans, here is the Brian Vickers car. And finally, on this end of the row, we have got Austin Dillon's Bad Boy Buggies color chrome car. Really, really cool. Bad Boy Buggies, of course, has sponsored Austin and some other drivers along the way. Great, great folks at Bad Boy Buggies, by the way. And the color chrome sponsorship as well for Austin Dillon. So there's our back row, but we've just got started because we need to move now to this row and some great cars up here. So we start on this end with Kyle Busch and a number of his cars, the Pretzel M&Ms. As a side note, have you had those? You need to get some. They're fantastic, folks, and Lord knows I know what I'm talking about when it comes to sweet stuff. Kyle Busch's Pretzel M&Ms, fantastic looking race car there. Then we have the Peanut paint scheme as well from Joe Gibbs Racing. and the peanut paint scheme available in color chrome for Kyle Busch. So really cool looking Kyle Busch cars as they continue with the M&M sponsorship. Another one of those exclusive autographed items we have, Michael Annette's Pilot Travel Centers, the Flying J car from Tommy Baldwin Racing. Again, exclusively autographed, planbsales.com or one of our dealers. So when you go into them, ask them, make sure they're one of the Plan B sales dealers, and we can get that autographed Michael Annette car, and we have the standard finish as well. Next we move to Roush Fenway Racing, Greg Biffle de McGuire's paint scheme in the standard finish for Biff, and in the color chrome finish for Greg Biffle as well. We have that. And how about this one? Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Remember the Sprint All-Star Race Showdown? This is the paint scheme that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. used in that race. Very, very cool paint scheme. Really, really neat for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and available now in stock. This car, now you're going to have to hunt for this one. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, this is the Chase Elliott ARCA car. Okay, it arrived and it's sold out. Now what that means is that right now today, it's not available on planbsales.com. But right now today, it is likely available at some of your Diecast stores. So you want this Chase Elliott one, go to one of your Diecast dealers and check it out, because they just bought them all out, which is a great thing. Whenever you're selling all your Diecast, that means it's a good selling car and good looking car. This is the ARCA car for Chase Elliott, the HendrickCars.com sponsored ARCA car for Chase Elliott. So that one, you're going to have to go to your local Diecast dealer and get your hands on that. Some of those guys might have a little inventory because they just absolutely blitzed us to get them, because we all know that Chase Elliott is a huge, huge future of the sport. Now jumping a little bit away from NASCAR to some of our other favorite forms of racing, and this, the sprint car of Sammy Swindell. The story of Sammy Swindell really took an interesting twist about 3 weeks ago when Sammy kind of shocked the sprint car world and announced he's done. He's retiring. No farewell tour, no goodbyes, no anything. I'm done. It's all gone. This is the diecast of the Big Game Tree Stands car Sammy Swindell wheeled in his final season of running with the World of Outlaw STP Sprint Cars, and of course the Knoxville Nationals, his last run for Sammy Swindell. So really, really cool stuff. It's another one of those that you're going to want to get your hands on, because it is going to go fast. It really is, because of Sammy's historic Hall of Fame career. Okay, now we just come off the drag racing here at Charlotte, and all of our drag racing buds, they came over, hung out here at Plan B Sales in the warehouse, and oh, we put a pen to some diecast with them. Matt Hagan signed this one, the Hemi sponsored car. Really, really good one. And the Rocky car for Matt Hagan. He was on Twitter all last week bragging about how good the cars look, and everything looked good here at Plan B Sales, so you can get those autographed funny cars right now. Fast Jack Beckman also was here at Plan B, and he autographed that car. Another one of the great NHRA drivers. And Tommy Johnson Jr., the Make-A-Wish car. This may be my favorite paint scheme in all of drag racing. It just looks really, really cool with the Make-A-Wish, all the stars on it and everything. Tommy Johnson Jr. was here, autographed these cars. So there's our funny car collection, and Antron Brown's Top Fuel Dragster, the Matco Tools car, autographed by Antron right here at Plan B Sales. We had so much fun having these NHRA guys out here hanging out, just talking racing and signing some diecast and having a good time right here at Plan B Sales. So we have all of these NHRA cars available as well. So that wraps up what we have as far as the 124th scale cars. We've got some 164th scale cars as well. Kevin Harvick's Budweiser Jimmy John's test car is available in 164th, as well as the Hunt Brothers pizza car, available right now in stock. Michael Annette's Pilot Flying J Chevrolet, available in 164 scale. And here's Carl Edwards Subway Ford, another one of those historic cars. Carl leaving the Ford camp, leaving for Joe Gibbs Racing, so this would be a neat car to have for your collection. Chase Elliott, we talked about him a little earlier, how popular he is. This thing's not going to hang around long, folks. You need to get your hands on the Napa Chevrolet Camaro for Chase Elliott, NASCAR Nationwide Series driver. Another test car that is, he's in the chase, is Kurt Busch. The Haas test car for Kurt Busch. Here is the night car for Kyle Larson, that inverted paint scheme. White on instead of the red, backward paint scheme. That is for Kyle Larson. Kelly Blue Book involved with Dale Earnhardt Jr. with a sponsorship. Beautiful looking race car, and it is available now in 1/64th scale. And who can forget about Superman? Dale Earnhardt Jr. does this to us every year. He keeps everyone here at the warehouse hopping when he comes out with one of these Superman cars, because he knows everyone's got some heavy lifting getting these cars out the door. Everyone wants Dale Earnhardt Jr. and everyone wants the National Guard Superman car, so we have that available in 1/64th, and the historic Jack Ingram Old Bush Series car, the number 11 car for Jack Ingram, available in 1/64th scale as well. So a lot of neat cars, and again, want to remind you, our Justin Allgaier sponsorship this weekend at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. These t-shirts are in stock now, so you can order them and wear them this weekend. In fact, if you wear it in New Hampshire and the boss man sees you, oh, he's going to hook you up. That's how good this gets. So if you're going to New Hampshire, you need to wear one of these shirts, and the boss man is going to be up there prowling around. And if he sees you, he'll hook you up in this Justin Allgaier t-shirt. So we have the t-shirts and the diecast available at planbsales.com on the website. The diecast, of course, for pre-order. We also have the Branch Chevrolet. I know a lot of you Justin Allgaier fans have kind of tuned us in here recently with our sponsorship. We also have the Branch Chevrolet car for pre-order as well. So just go on planbsales.com and order it up. That takes care of the diecast review portion, but we're not done yet. Stay tuned. The post show is coming up next. It's time now for the post show here on our diecast review show, and what this is your questions right down below. We love chatting with race fans and talking about it, and YouTube gives us a great platform to do it. Just type in your question down below, and who knows, you might be part of the next post show here on our diecast review show. DJ Bartlett writes in and says, hey Steve, do you think a road course should be added to the Chase, and which one do you like, the Glen or Sonoma? Well, I'm going to go in a little different direction on you, DJ. Yes, I think a road course should be added to the Chase, but I think we need to add a road course. Have you watched road course racing this year? It's maybe the most exciting racing we have in NASCAR, whether it be the trucks. You see that finish up at Toronto between Ryan Blaney and Herman Quiroga. Nationwide Series has been exciting with their road course races, and then the Sprint Cup Series. So I'm not sure, we might not look at adding a road course. Maybe a Road Atlanta. That's a little bit touchy because we already have Atlanta Motor Speedway. I have been a huge fan of Montreal. Don't know that that's going to happen. There's all kinds of political things going on with that. Road America would be a great track for the Sprint Cup. The challenge with all of these road courses, maybe except for Sonoma, is the weather in September and October at Watkins Glen, at Montreal, at Road America could be a little bit iffy. So I think that plays into it as well. Maybe we look at the Circuit of Americas down in Texas as an option as well. But I would love to see a road course in the Chase. I'd like to see another road course added to the schedule, though. Let's leave the Glen. Man, the Glen is awesome. Sonoma's awesome. Let's bring another one in, is what I say. But they really don't listen to what I say. And next year, it's going to look very much like it did this year. LTS Racing says, what are the odds of either AJ Allmendinger or Eric Almirola making it to the next round? Got to be honest with you, if I'd answered this question before Chicagoland, I'd have thought the odds were decent for AJ and even better for Eric Almirola. And Almirola had it going. He needed to do what he was doing. He finished 9th and 10th in the last 2 regular season races. If he could have done that in the first 3 races, I think he set himself up well. He was running 6th at Chicagoland, and unfortunately an engine failure put him way out of commission. He needs a Hail Mary. As far as AJ Allmendinger goes, they need to run better at New Hampshire and Dover than they ran at Chicagoland. That doesn't mean they won't get in, because someone else will likely have problems, but I know they want to be running better, and I know those guys at JTG Daugherty Racing are working in that avenue. So the odds of doing it right now, the odds for Eric Almirola is Hail Mary odds. I still think AJ Allmendinger is in that conversation of sneaking into one of those top 12 spots as we go on to the contenders round. Spurs Racing, Matt Stewart writes in and says, when was the first time you saw NASCAR? Okay, first time I saw NASCAR would have been the early 80s at Pocono. Watched a race at Pocono Raceway, and if I'm not mistaken, Harry Gant won that race and went and then started writing for the sport. First time I saw racing, I don't even remember not seeing racing. I grew up going to the dirt tracks with my dad up in Pennsylvania and New York State, but my first NASCAR race was a race at Pocono Raceway, and I've been hooked on it ever since. Did some writing for a couple of papers up there, Gator Racing News, which is an old racing trade paper that's no longer around, wrote for them, and then finally moved south and kicked it around a little bit with some PR gigs before getting in with Motor Racing Network. Final question is from Petty Blue 43. What is your favorite track on the current schedule? Favorite track on the current schedule? That's one of the easy ones. I love Martinsville, Virginia. And no, it's not just because of the famous Martinsville hot dogs although I love them as well. I love Martinsville because from a fan's perspective or a guy covering the race perspective, they could not sell you a bad seat. Everything is so close. If you walked up to the ticket office at Martinsville with $1,000 and said, I want you to sell me a bad seat, they'd have to turn you away. That's first off. It's tight quarter racing. We'll go down there in the turns and watch these guys race, and they'll be flipping each other off and shaking fists at each other, and you look up at the scoreboard, it's lap 56. Guys, you got 400 more laps to go, and you're already hacked off at each other, and that's one of the things about Martinsville. The other thing I love about Martinsville is the historical perspective. In 1949, the champion of the NASCAR Strictly Stock Tour is what it was called back then. He had to race and do well at Martinsville, and in 2014, the guy that wins the championship has to roll through Martinsville, Virginia, and I love all of that. So Martinsville, hands down, my favorite track on the tour. And that will do it for this edition of the Post Show. Remember, t-shirts are available, diecast are available, all of this available at planbsales.com. All this great diecast available at your local diecast dealer as well. We love that you guys are getting involved with us here on YouTube. We have the comments below. Feel free to mention your comments here. Follow us on Twitter at Plan B Sales, and we'll keep you informed on what we have. And please get some back and forth conversation going, because we love talking racing and love talking with you race fans out there, and we appreciate the business you do give us.